is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see anything apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see that walnut tree apart from Him. What do you see? God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see this apart from Him. What do you see? God is my source. I cannot see this screen apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see this cedar tree apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. I see through the eyes of forgiveness. I see the world as blessed. The world can show me myself. I see my own thoughts, which are like God's. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see you apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see this apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. Well, thank you all so much for joining me. I'm Forgiveness Willie, teaching forgiveness from the Ozarks in front of a Juniperus virginiana cedar tree here on my home place here in the Ozarks. Thank you again for joining me. Let's see, we're ready for lesson 43 for Thursday, February the 12th of 2026. Let's read through it. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. Perception is not an attribute of God. His is the realm of knowledge. Yet He has created the Holy Spirit as the mediator between perception and knowledge. Without this link with God, perception would have replaced knowledge forever in your mind. With this link with God, perception will become so changed and purified that it will lead to knowledge. That is its function as the Holy Spirit sees it. Therefore, that is its function in truth. In God you cannot see. Perception has no function in God and does not exist. Yet in salvation, which is the undoing of what never was, perception has a mighty purpose. Made by the Son of God for an unholy purpose, it must become the means for the restoration of His holiness to His awareness. Perception has no meaning, yet does the Holy Spirit give it a meaning very close to God's. Healed perception becomes the means by which the Son of God forgives His brother and thus forgives Himself. You cannot see apart from God. Let's read that last sentence again. Key idea, those last sentence. Healed perception becomes the means by which the Son of God forgives His brother and thus forgives Himself. The only way to forgive yourself is to forgive your brother. We're all in this together. See them as yourself. You cannot see apart from God because you cannot be apart from God. Whatever you do in Him, because whatever you think with His mind. If vision is real, and it is real to the extent to which it shares the Holy Spirit's purpose, then you cannot see apart from God. 3 5-minute practice periods are required today, one as early and one as late as possible in the day. The third may be undertaken at the most convenient and suitable time that circumstances and readiness permit. At the beginning of these practice periods, repeat the idea for today to yourself with eyes open. Then glance around you for a short time, applying the idea specifically to what you see. 4 or 5 subjects for this phase of the practice period are sufficient. You might say, for example, God is my source, I cannot see this desk apart from Him. God is my source, I cannot see that picture apart from Him. God is my source, I cannot see that tree apart from Him. Although this part of the exercise period should be relatively short, be sure that you select the subjects for this phase of practice indiscriminately, without self-directed inclusion or exclusion. For the second and longer phase, close your eyes. Repeat today's idea and then let whatever relevant thoughts occur to you. Add to the idea. Let whatever relevant thoughts occur to you, add to the idea in your own personal way. Thoughts such as, I see through the eyes of forgiveness. I see the world as blessed. The world can show me myself. I see my own thoughts, which are like God's. So you get kind of an idea of what to do in your 3 5-minute practice periods today. One as early as you can in the morning before you get up, and then one before you go to bed, and sometime when readiness permits during the day, maybe lunchtime. Then stop and do your lesson, and start by saying the lesson, God is my source, I cannot see apart from Him, and then look at 3 or 4 different things that you say, God is my source, I cannot see that umbrella apart from Him, or whatever you're seeing. And then after you've done that 4 or 5 times, close your eyes and let related thoughts come to you. Any thought related more or less directly to today's idea is suitable. The thoughts need not bear any obvious relationship to the idea, but they should not be in opposition to it. If you find your mind wandering, if you begin to be aware of thoughts which are clearly out of accord with today's idea, or if you seem to be unable to think of anything, open your eyes, repeat the first phase of the exercise period, and then attempt the second phase again. Do not allow any protracted period to occur in which you become preoccupied with irrelevant thoughts. Return to the first phase of the exercises as often as necessary to prevent this. In applying today's idea in the shorter practice periods, the form may vary according to the circumstances and situations in which you find yourself during the day. When you are with someone else, for example, try to remember to tell him silently, God is my source. I cannot see you apart from Him. This form is equally applicable to strangers as it is to those you think are closer to you. In fact, try not to make distinctions of this kind at all. Trying to think some people are closer to you than others. Try not to make that distinction, he's saying. God is my source. I cannot see you apart from Him. This form is equally applicable to strangers as to those you think are closer to you. In fact, try not to make distinctions of this kind at all. Some people close and some people aren't. We're all brothers, all part of ourselves. Love your neighbor as yourself, and everyone's your neighbor. Today's idea should also be applied throughout the day to various situations and events that may occur, particularly to those which seem to distress you in any way. For this purpose, apply the idea in this form. God is my source. I cannot see this apart from Him. If no particular subject presents itself to your awareness at the time, merely repeat the idea in its original form. Try today not to allow any long periods of time to slip by without remembering today's idea and thus remembering your function. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. Okay, let's go back and look in our text reading, and we're ready for Chapter 5, Healing and Wholeness, Roman numeral 4, Teaching and Healing. For you multiple year students, out of the original edition, read Chapter 5, Section 5. Out of the Bible, read Mark chapter 15. In Iyengar Yoga, read pages 60 and 61 again. And out of A Course of Love, chapter 10, 14 through 20 paragraphs. Okay, teaching and healing. What fear has hidden still is part of you. Joining the at-one-ment is the way out of fear. The Holy Spirit will help you reinterpret everything that you perceive as fearful and teach you that only what is loving is true. Truth is beyond your ability to destroy, but entirely within your ability to accept. It belongs to you because, as an extension of God, you created it with Him. It is yours because it is part of you, just as you are part of God because He created you. Nothing that is good can be lost because it comes from the Holy Spirit, the voice for creation. Nothing that is not good was ever created, and therefore cannot be protected. The atonement or the at-one-ment is the guarantee of the safety of the kingdom, and the union of the sonship is its protection. The atonement, that we're all one, is the guarantee of the safety of the kingdom, and the union of the sonship is its protection. So see yourself as one with everyone. The ego cannot prevail against the kingdom because the sonship is united. In the presence of those who hear the Holy Spirit's call to be as one, the ego fades away and is undone. 2. What the ego makes, it keeps to itself, and so it is without strength. Its existence is unshared. It does not die. It was merely never born. Physical birth is not a beginning. It is a continuing. Catch that. Physical birth is not a beginning. It is a continuing. Everything that continues has already been born. It will increase as you are willing to return the unhealed part of your mind to the higher part, returning it undivided to creation. I have come to give you the foundation so your own thoughts can make you really free. You have carried the burden of unshared ideas that are too weak to increase, but having made them, you did not realize how to undo them. Again on that sentence. You have carried the burden of unshared ideas that are too weak to increase. But having made them, you did not realize how to undo them. You cannot cancel out your past errors alone. They will not disappear from your mind without the atonement, the at-one-ment, a remedy not of your making. The atonement must be understood as a pure act of sharing. That is what I meant when I said it is possible even in this world to listen to one voice. If you are part of God and the sonship is one, you cannot be limited to the self the ego sees. Paragraph 3. Every loving thought held in any part of the sonship belongs to every part. It is shared because it is loving. Sharing is God's way of creating, and also your way. The ego can keep you in exile from the kingdom, but in the kingdom itself it has no power. The ego can keep you in exile from the kingdom, but in the kingdom, the ego has no power. Ideas of the Spirit do not leave the mind that thinks them, nor can they conflict with each other. However, ideas of the ego can conflict because they occur at different levels and also include opposite thoughts at the same level. It is impossible to share opposing thoughts. It is impossible to share opposing thoughts. You can share only the thoughts that are of God and that He keeps for you, and of such is the kingdom of heaven. The rest remains with you until the Holy Spirit has reinterpreted them into the light of the kingdom, making them too worthy of being shared. When they have been sufficiently purified, He lets you give them away. The decision to share them is their purification. 4. I heard one voice because I understood that I could not atone for myself alone, says Yeshua. I heard one voice because I understood that I could not atone for myself alone. Listening to one voice implies the decision to share it in order to hear it yourself. Listening to one voice implies the decision to share it in order to hear it yourself. The mind that was in me is still irresistibly drawn to every mind created by God, because God's wholeness is the wholeness of His Son. You cannot be hurt and do not want to show your brother anything except your wholeness. Show him that he cannot hurt you and hold nothing against him, or you hold it against yourself. This is the meaning of turning the other cheek, which was something Jesus was recorded as saying in Matthew chapter 5, verse 39. Paragraph 5. Teaching is done in many ways, above all by example. Teaching should be healing because it is the sharing of ideas and the recognition that to share ideas is to strengthen them. I cannot forget my need to teach what I have learned, which arose in me because I learned it. I call upon you to teach what you have learned, because by so doing you can depend on it. Make it dependable in my name, because my name is the name of God's Son. What I learned, I give you freely, and the mind that was in me rejoices as you choose to hear it. Paragraph 6. The Holy Spirit atones in all of us by undoing, and thus lifts the burden you have placed in your mind. By following Him, you are led back to God where you belong, and how can you find the way except by taking your brother with you? My part in the at-one-ment or the atonement is not complete until you join it and give it away. As you teach, so shall you learn. As you teach, so shall you learn. I will never leave you or forsake you. You can find that in Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. I will never leave you or forsake you, because to forsake you would be to forsake myself and God who created me. You forsake yourself and God if you forsake any of your brothers. You forsake yourself and God if you forsake any of your brothers. You must learn to see them as they are and understand they belong to God as you do. How could you treat your brother better than by rendering unto God the things that are God's? And of course, there's a little phrase that he used when he was talking about in Matthew chapter 22 and verse 21, where he was talking about give to Caesar what is Caesar's and give to God what is God's, when he was talking about paying taxes in paragraph 7. The atonement gives you the power of a healed mind, but the power to create is of God. Therefore, those who have been forgiven must devote themselves first to healing, because having received the idea of healing, they must give it to hold it. The full power of creation cannot be expressed as long as any of God's ideas is withheld from the kingdom. The joint will of the sonship is the only creator that can create like the Father, because only the complete can think completely, and the thinking of God lacks nothing. Everything you think that is not through the Holy Spirit is lacking. And the last paragraph finishes section 8. How can you who are so holy suffer? How can you who are so holy suffer? All your past except its beauty is gone. That ought to be a heartening thought. All your past except its beauty is gone, and nothing is left but a blessing. I have saved all your kindnesses and every loving thought you ever had. I have purified them of the errors that hid their light, and I kept them for you in their own perfect radiance. They are beyond destruction and beyond guilt. They came from the Holy Spirit within you, and we know what God creates is eternal. You can indeed depart in peace because I have loved you as I loved myself. You go with my blessing and for my blessing. Hold it and share it, that it may always be yours. I place the peace of God in your heart and in your hands to hold and share. The heart is pure to hold it, and the hands are strong to give it. We cannot lose. My judgment is as strong as the wisdom of God, in whose heart and hands we have our being. His quiet children are his blessed sons. The thoughts of God are with you. Only the thoughts of God are with us. And boy, this is what we want to remember today in our lesson. God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. You want to see the thoughts of God that are your reality. Okay, let's see what's going on around the world today. It's Maga Puja, which is also known as Matcha Bucha Day. It's a Buddhist celebration. It means the enlightened devotees that spontaneously gathered, the 1,250 of them that gathered just spontaneously, that were all enlightened, and they sat around the Buddha. Interesting experience, huh? Swami Dayanand Saraswati Jayanta, a Hindu celebration that emphasizes truth and right living. Solemnity of the Sacred Heart of Jesus for Catholics and some Christians. And there's also, for Catholics and some Christians, the Christian feast days of Benedict of Anion, Julian the Hospitaller, and Martyrs of Abatinge. So 3 different saints, feast days for them. And then out of holidays and observances, I also found that it's Darwin Day, Fat Thursday, right before Lent begins, huh? And Hug Day, Georgia Day, and also it's Oglethorpe Day, who actually was Samuel Oglethorpe in the 1800s, started basically the colony in Georgia, where he was using the worthy poor to giving them a place. They were poor, but they were worthy. Called them the worthy poor. Freedom to Marry Day. I have the freedom to marry who you want to, huh? Male, female, whatever. International Day Against the Use of Child Soldiers. Lincoln's Day. Giving Hearts Day. Lost Penny Day. Plum Pudding Day. And we'll talk about another plum here in a minute. Paul Bunyan Day. And Safety Pup Day. And that prune I want to talk about, or plum, is the Stanley plum. It's a Prunus salicina, and this is out of Edible Landscaping. And and we're talking about the 3 foundational trees in your little food forest: an apple, a semi-dwarf apple, pear, and a plum. Well, so here's a plum, and all of them make sure they're about a 15-foot tall tree. It says put them about 15, 16 foot apart. And then in that first year, the second year, plant a cherry, a dwarf cherry, and a hazel bush. And the third year, amongst it, plant your gooseberries and your currants. And you could make exceptions and plant, and you can do one group and then right beside it do another, and before long you have a whole real food forest. Okay, plant different trees that all go together. But the Stanley or the Methley plum out of Edible Landscaping says methley is a Japanese purple-red plum with red flesh that is delicious fresh. Seed adheres to the flesh. Very productive, doing better than most plums in warmer climates, even Hawaii. The small tree is disease-resistant and a good choice for organic growers. Can produce fruit when planted alone and pollinates other Japanese plums. Space 12-foot circles, zones 5 through 9. So we're just kind of talking about things that you can create a food forest around. And the first year you want to plant your 3 trees, and there'd be another possibility. If you plant an apple tree, be sure that you've got a crab apple or another variety of apple, and this is true about pears too. If it needs a pollinator, be sure that do another food forest right beside that circle, another circle of or triangle, of trees that are the pollinators. So you want to be sure to get your pollinators. And our word for peace today, we're going to take it from our Algonquin brothers and sisters of the northeastern woodlands. And they're on the Kitchissippi River. That was their name for the Great River and the tributaries of what are today is known as the Ottawa River in present-day Ontario and Quebec. And the word for peace is Waki-ijibwebis-I. 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 I think. I hope I'm pronouncing it properly. Okay, well, let's do one of our practice periods. At least we'll get you started, and then you can finish with turn the screen off or silent and continue for 5 minutes. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. Look around. God is my source. I cannot see that tree apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see that blank apart from Him. You fill it in. God is my source. I cannot see that thing from Him. God is my source. I cannot see that blank apart from Him. Then close your eyes and repeat it. I cannot see apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. Now, what thoughts come to you? God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. I see through the eyes of forgiveness. I see the world as blessed. I see the world, and the world can show me myself. I see my own thoughts, which are like God's. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. Now, after you turn off your recording, just sit quietly for 2 or 3 more minutes. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. Use that throughout the day to distress too. Waki-ijibwebis-I. God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. Waki-ijibwebis-I.